What's up YouTube, Barwood here, back again with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about Antoine Griezmann going to Barcelona and how he'll be fitting within that club. As you guys already know, this morning Barcelona announced that they paid Antoine Griezmann's release clause and now that he will sign for 5 years with Barcelona. And I believe that Atleti is also suing Barcelona for an extra 80 million euros because they believe that Barca was negotiating with Griezmann in March, and you can't do that because it's considered tapping up a player. So there is that. So Atleti is going to take Barcelona to court most likely, but anyways, we're not here for that. Let me just start off by saying that Antoine Griezmann was my choice of striker or forward coming in for Barcelona. I do believe that he fits in very well within the club, and that's because of how dynamic he is as a forward. And I know the argument of him not being a lone striker or anything like that, and people think that he's a 10 or a second striker or anything like that, and I do agree for the most part that he hasn't fully shown his capabilities as a lone striker, but to me that doesn't matter as much when you're pairing him up with the players that Barcelona have. So let's go on by saying that Barcelona can put him in many different positions, and that's a good thing about the signing like that. I believe that Valverde will start the season by starting Messi, Suarez, and Griezmann all together, and he's not going to give that Dembele that chance to shine off the bat and then bench Suarez because obviously of who Suarez is at the club and his name and everything, but I do not think that's the right decision. I believe that Suarez's time as a starter should be up. He's more like a hindrance to the team rather than what he gives us. And the thing is that Valverde is not a guy that's like going to coach your front three. He's not going to tell them exactly what to do, where to go, or anything like that. He puts the players there and he expects them to know what to do. And Dembele is a guy that needs to be coached. He's the guy that needs to be taught like exactly what to do in some certain moments or anything like that, because obviously he is young and he hasn't played at this level of football that Barcelona play at. So anyways, I think that it's a mistake to play Suarez, Griezmann, and Messi up front because it's a very, very slow front three. And the thing is that they all offer kind of like the same thing and they don't give you what you need. And that is the touchline winger that Barcelona really badly needs, the pace that they badly need, which Alba brings at time, but you don't want your fullback getting that whole flank, especially when Alba's like not the best of fullbacks around. I would say the guy's like not at the top, at the level that people claim that he is at. He doesn't have the ability. But Dembele, he can help you as a winger, especially as a right winger. I believe that's where he performs better. So what I want is a diamond front three, and I want Messi and Dembele up front and then Griezmann behind him, and I'll give you my reasoning for that. You could argue that Griezmann could play up top with Dembele, both forwards, and then they could like go, one of them pushes the right wing and then the other one pushes the left wing, kind of like that, and then Messi plays behind them, maybe as a false 9/10 kind of player. But you could play Griezmann as 10 as that false line player as well, and it could work, but they offer you different things, and here I'm going to tell you what they're going to offer you. If you play Griezmann up top, he offers you more off-ball movement, he offers you more defensive side of work. He's going to press more than Messi. He's going to be constantly pressing. He has the legs for it, he has the energy for it, and it's a big part of his game, that pressure that he puts on defenders and everything like that, and that could create you chances, you know, especially that's something that Barcelona kind of lack as well, with the pressing that goes with that. But Griezmann is a clinical finisher. He can work off the ball, he can work on the ball, so there's nothing bad that would come out of him playing up top, and it's just a matter of preference of what Valverde wants. But if you were to play Messi up top and then play Griezmann behind him and Dembele kind of thing, I think that's my favorite choice out of the current players that we have. And I do believe that if you play Messi off top, he offers you more as a forward, because I think Messi is the most clinical forward there's ever been, so you need to use that finishing as much as you can. He's a guy that can get a shot off at any given moment, and he's a guy that can make something out of nothing, obviously. So you want that kind of player in front of the goal as much as you can. You could argue that Messi's the best playmaker. Well, he is the best playmaker in the world, but you could argue that you could use that more than his goal scoring. But in my opinion, that might kind of be a hindrance. It kind of might unbalance the team, because Barcelona tends to rely on Messi so much as their creative outlet. So if you were to push him away from that at the start of season, the team would have to get used to him not being full involved as much, and they would have to, you know, the midfielders would have to get more involved. The 10, Griezmann aka, would have to get more involved, and I think that could be a good thing in the long run. As well as Griezmann at 10, he gives you more. Again, he gives you more running, he gives you more help on the midfield as on the defensive side, and he can do a lot of things that Messi can do. Obviously not to the level that Messi can, but he can link up well between the midfield and the forwards. He can link up with them, and he can join the midfield as well to kind of defend with them and push forward, and like almost everything that a midfielder does and almost everything the forward does. That's what makes him so dynamic, that's what makes him so useful as a player. So these are two ways you could use them. You could also play Griezmann on the wing, you could play Messi up top, and you could play Dembele wide left winger, you know, and that's not my favorite because I think that Griezmann would be like less so. He would be less used if he was to play as a right winger, or you could play Messi as a right winger and then play Griezmann on top. That would be a better choice than playing Griezmann as a right winger and then Messi up top. But overall, these two, I don't think that's the way they're going to go forward, because you need to keep these players kind of close, especially with Messi not having the energy to fully play as a right winger and track back and take on his man 24/7, you know, like that. So it's not really the best of ideas, but there are many options that Barcelona can take. And if Valverde is on his shit, if he knows what he's doing, then he could use those players in many different ways and experience throughout the season. And that's what I want to see. I want to see more experience, because I want to see what gets the best out of the players. And those players, for me, are Dembele and Griezmann, because those are the guys that are going to kind of decide your season for you. Messi, you always know he's going to deliver. You always know what he's going to bring to the table, so it won't be a problem. With Griezmann and Dembele, you kind of have to see what you want exactly from them. Obviously, Dembele can be a touchline winger, and he could open up the field for you. He gives you off the ball movement as well. That's the thing about Dembele, that I think it's a myth that he doesn't run off the ball anymore. He's improved on it a lot since he joined, and I think it could be really helpful for him if he played as a right winger and then he had the chance to get on the ball and then play off the ball as well. So it all depends on him and how he's going to show up, whether he's going to stay healthy or not. But within Griezmann, I think that he's a great signing. I'm really excited for it. Frankie de Jong as well. I think that he will change the dynamics of Barca, especially the fact that he's going to replace Rakitic, who was kind of like a rotten player in that position. He wasn't offering anything that you would expect from a midfielder, honestly, in my opinion. And he was kind of like a hindrance to the team. Well, not kind of, he was definitely a hindrance to the team. So Frankie de Jong is going to offer you a lot. So Barca will have much more energy this year than they will have next year. But that does depend on the coach, whether he can motivate the team, whether he can push them to their maximum level, because Messi's coming off another Copa and he hasn't had like a full preseason, and it's been a long time. He had obviously the 2018 World Cup before that as well. So it's gonna take a lot for him to go into another season and try to carry the team. And that's not what I want to see. I don't think that's what Barcelona wants to see. They don't want to see Messi carry. They want to see him as the main piece, but they want to see everyone else involved as much as they can. So overall, I'm glad about the signing, and I believe that it will work out for the most part. And obviously next season isn't the only season he's going to play for Barcelona. He's going to sign for 5 seasons, and they're going to try him out with different things. And I think that if next season might not be his best season with Barca, he will still offer you more than Suarez will throughout the season. It's true that Suarez is a very lethal goal scorer, and you know, to the fact that he creates his own chances for himself by how much he runs, by how much he bullies these center backs, and the connection that he has with Messi. With Griezmann, you might get less chances, but you might get a more clinical striker. I don't expect him to score 40 goals a season or anything like that, because I think that he's just not that type of player. But I expect him to make Barcelona a better team and more compact, and maybe, you know, they become more clinical and use their chances better, because Suarez kind of ruins attacks most of the times, and it's because his touch, he misses a lot of chances, easy ones at that as well. But he's always active. With Griezmann, you could get that activity, but in a different way. You could get it more off the ball, and you could get him with him pressing the defenders and just kind of like a younger player up top. So you just know what to expect from a younger player. I'm looking forward to it. I do believe that Barcelona, with this signing, they will be moving forward and they will be trying to phase Suarez out, but it all depends on the coach as well, you know, whether he wants to trust Dembele, whether he wants to trust Griezmann going forward, and what he's going to do. So guys, thank you for watching, and I just really appreciate it if you do like the video, comment on it, subscribe, anything like that. It would help me a lot. And yeah, till next time, peace.